Right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get the music down. There we go. So we're talking about the archetypes. And in understanding your archetypes, understanding the power that resides inside of them, it's important to realize that you have access to this. You've used all of your archetypes. The difference is when you call on that personality, when you call on that skill, when you call on that talent. There's some people who can write calligraphy and they can call on that talent. They've worked on that talent, right? Much like anything else, any other talent, any other skill, your archetypes are also a tool that you get to use. People say, "Well, I don't know about my archetypes, and I don't understand them." Because you don't understand them does not give you an instant pass to success. These are tools people use, successful people use. Again, Wallace said it best. Even blockheads can become rich. It's about doing things in a certain way. And you do some things, some great things in a certain way now that you're not even aware of. You don't even pay attention to. You just do them in an awesome way and they work for you. The challenge is 50% of the people never study success. They study failure. They study the heck out of failure. It's why we produce so much more failure. If you look at drugs, if you look at our war on drugs, we have more drug usage now than ever. If you look at our march against this or against that, we seem to have more of this and that. So yesterday we did the Sovereign, a very just surface dive into the Sovereign. I did a 3-day, I think it was 3 days. Yeah, 3-day on the archetypes. Pretty powerful stuff. So anyway, so here we go into the Magician. The Magician it's how to unlock this transformation of who you are. The Magician represents the power of this transformation. It's insight, your ability to see things, right? Magic is typically misdirection. True magic is not misdirection. It's an awareness. It's a mastery over unseen forces. What are the unseen forces that you, and I would write this down. What are the unseen forces that you would need to master? And if your brain's going, unseen forces, I don't know. How about the force of gratitude? How about the force of applied faith? In listening to Hill's master course of the laws, he talks about the most powerful tool you could ever learn to use or apply is that of applied faith. Applied faith, not just faith, applying the faith. That's an unseen force. Gratitude, confidence. One of the things I'm working on right now is a absolutely kind of in your face confidence course. That's an unseen force I think most people struggle with. Confidence, having absolute confidence. One of the things that transpires when you're communicating with people is this unseen force of confidence, not cockiness, confidence. So that's another training. We'll talk about that later. But the Magician represents this power of transformation, this power of insight, this mastery over unseen forces. Whether that knowledge is understanding information, whether it's knowledge about energy and understanding how true influence works. This archetype, the Magician, holds the key to wisdom. to this deep personal power that's already inside of you. Listen, none of this is outside of you. My triggering questions and asking you things and making you become aware of certain parts of your complexity of who you are, all of the results are inside of you. All of the results are inside of you. Your job is to tweak and tune and move and transition and try some things so that you can access it. The magician turns ideas into reality, and it helps navigate the complexity of where you're about to go with a tremendous amount of clarity. Does that make sense? So why don't more people use these archetypes? Why don't they physically have them become aware of them? Well, most people don't teach this. Usually it's only taught in psychology when we've gone round the bend and we're not taking care of ourselves, and we've gone a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and we have to have some therapy and psychology done for us. Haven't you gone round the bend thinking that you're less than? I mean, seriously, the reality is that if everybody's crazy, nobody's crazy. Right? If everybody is that you hang around with, if everybody in your world is struggling and suffering, you're not a standout. It's why we maybe don't have some of the people we want to hang around, because they wouldn't put up with us. We don't fit in because we're sitting in this lack of possibility. So most don't do it because you'd have to access a deep well of wisdom and intuition inside of you. A wisdom and intuition that you already have. Some of you fear the power. I call it, are you ready for the love? But in reality, it's fearing the power. The ability to influence reality can be intimidating. But let me ask you this question. Joe Dispenza starts off some of his trainings. How many of you, by a show of hands, believe your thoughts can influence your day? Right? If you believe your thoughts can influence your day, then you can influence reality. The question is how many of you set to work this morning using your magician to create the day you want? How many of you set clear intentions that you said, this is how my day's going? If you didn't do that, or if you touched on it, or if you danced around it, then it's your fear of love. It's your fear of having the power to intimidate and to influence reality. So many are trapped in the shadow magician. Right? We talked about the shadow archetypes, the shadow, what did we talk about yesterday? The sovereign, the shadow sovereign. They're the ones that misdirect you, that play a little hellion with you. This is the trickster mode or the manipulative mode version of this person, using knowledge unethically or feeling disconnected from your true wisdom. That's not for me. I don't know. I can't do that. That's whenever you say I can't do that, that's your shadow version of whatever it is you're saying you can't do. Of course you could do it. And some people distrust, they don't believe in their intuition. Right? Their world is focused on logic and external validation. It's people who need recognition. Tell me I'm good. Tell me what to do. How would you do that? They're always looking for outside influence, somebody to give them guidance, somebody to tell them what to do. A magician would say, hey, listen, here, I performed the trick and here's the result. How do I make it better? That's huge. That's a world of difference. Does that make sense? So what to expect when you begin to access your magician? this increased clarity, right? A magician has to practice. I'm not a magician. I may take up magic for some live events, but I don't know. It's not something that's on my to-do list. But when you watch a magician, a good magician, you know they've done hours and hours of practice. The way they can get the cards to do what they do when they're doing the ones who work with cards, and they fan them and they shoot them into from one hand to the other, and they make them fly in the air. That takes hours upon hours of practice. The reality is as you begin to access any of these traits, discipline, confidence, you have to practice it. Tony Robbins says, we're rewarded in public for what we practice in private. So if you tell me your bank account, I can tell you how much practice you're doing. You tell me your activities, your actions that you do, I can tell you your bank account. You show me your calendar, I can tell you your bank account. And the reason is because providing value to people is a predictable tool, is a predictable skill. And people in today's world, what business are you in? Providing value. What business are you really in? Providing value through a resource that I've become an expert in. Whatever that is, network marketing, social media, wellness. What business do you need to be in 6 months? I need to be in the business of being able to provide one-to-many versions of wellness, versions of leverage, versions of value, one-to-many, so that people can raise their hand and say, I want you. That's what the understanding your magician archetype will help you do. The magician, as it says, it's enhanced manifestation. What if you could become focused and more tangible on the direct energy that you have available to you and your intuition? What if you could fine tune that? And as you ask yourself during the day, I have a choice, A or B, and instantly know that B is a better choice for you. It may not look like it on the outside, but on the inside, on the transformational side, on the results side, it is the one that is absolutely best for you. What if you could access your magician and say, show me the clearer path, find me the energy, point me in the direction. And you'll be amazed at places you find yourself that you consciously would have never been, but boy, do they seem to shorten the life cycle, shorten the delay in you accessing your skill set, your success. The other thing that the magician gives you a tremendous amount of control over is your emotional response and your energetic awareness. Magicians don't lose their cool. They don't. Sovereigns sometimes lose their cool. Magicians don't lose their cool. Everything is part of their craft. Everything is part of their trade. If somebody is getting a little upset and frustrated, it's part of their trick. It's part of the way magic flows to them and through them. You'll be able to sense a shift in your personality and this collective energy, the collective energy around people easily. And because you are using the magician, you'll instantly know how to calm that energy, how to work with that strong sense that is out there for you or against you. Since nothing is either good nor bad, no one is really for you or against you. It's how you see it, right? Maslow said, be independent of the good opinion of other people. Nothing's either for you or against you. It just is. And as a magician, you understand how to use this energy to your advantage. And you have a strong sense of personal power. You'll trust your ability. You'll trust that you can influence a situation, and you'll learn how to navigate life with a purpose and a skill that you've never really imagined before. So you can see the power of the value of the magician archetype. So there's the empowered magician. This is the visionary, the alchemist, the wise guide, master of transformation, right? Turning obstacles into opportunities. We say that all the time. Turn a breakdown to a breakthrough. That's a magician. Every stumbling block is a step up. That's a magician. If you look at all of these catchphrases we have for when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, that's a magician, isn't it? Listen to these transformational little sayings we have. That's access your magician. Lemons into lemonade, magician. Stumbling block, step up, magician. Breakdown is a breakthrough, a setup. What is it? A mess up is a setup, magician. Anytime there's these transformations from not good to good, from opposites, it's magical. And if you're going from good to bad instantly, effortlessly, that's the shadow magician. Just making sense? The empowered magician helps you create intention, understanding the cause and effect of energy and thought. So the magician, which of the chakras do you think the magician would use well? The third eye, right? Being able to see things, connect to things energetically, see things in the ethereal world. How about the throat chakra? Using your authentic words. I speak my truth and wisdom. I see my inner vision. So that's the empowered magician. How about the trickster? Right? The shadow trickster. This is the self-sabotage. Sometimes our sabotage is pretty freaking amazing, isn't it? The way we can shoot ourselves in the foot. They use knowledge and insight for deception and manipulation and control. They create distractions and illusions of meaningful instead of meaningful transformation. Social media has become a magician of a shadow trickster of massive proportion. Wouldn't you think so? Gets lost in the what ifs, the shadow magician, or over intellectualizing without action. Some of you know exactly why you're failing to the nth degree with every comma and punctuation in place. And if you know what's causing you to fail, you know exactly how to do the opposite, but you won't. You just want to keep knowing more of why doesn't that work? How come that doesn't work? How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? If you keep going through your life with how, that is the trickster magician. It's a shadow magician because they know that how never works. One of the biggest things in performing magic, this misdirection, is to give the audience a surprised feeling, to show them that right in front of them, magic can happen. What the shadow magician does is never allows you to perform the trick. Think about it. Every distraction you have, every delay you have is keeping you from what? Performing the magic. You can do the magic. Oh, you may suck at the first time. Your first one's your worst one. This is why you practice in private. Practice, practice, practice. I just don't see people practicing. There's too many things to keep them unpracticed. So the chakra blockages, if you know people who have sore throats all the time, they're congested all the time. That might be the trickster, right? the fear of truth, avoiding a clear expression. The root chakra, feeling ungrounded, lost in ideas without any real world impact. They're busy being busy, but they ain't doing a dang thing. The manipulator, power without integrity. Sometimes this is parents, right? When we look at parents and we go, they're not really the best parents. That's power without integrity. They seek personal gain at the expense of others. Sometimes that's managers. Sometimes that's uplines, right? They can be emotionally or intellectually manipulative. They use hidden knowledge to maintain control rather than empower others, right? Waddle said, having dominion over man is the worst. Don't do that. Don't look to have power over man. And they're often charismatic, but disconnected from true wisdom, right? Their blockages, their chakra blockages is their heart. They have a blockage in their heart chakra. They're disconnected from compassion and a higher purpose. And their solar plexus is using power from ego rather than alignment, right? The doing chakra. And then there's the dormant magician, the unawakened, the blocked or the suppressed magician, feeling powerless and disconnected from intuition. Their fears their own ability to create transformation. They lack trust in the unseen forces. Well, I got to see it to believe it. The same, I think it's, who is it, Minnesota? The show me, no, that's Missouri, the show me state. They lack trust in the unseen forces. They don't have faith, and they're overly dependent on external validation. Tell me I'm doing good. Tell me I'm doing this. Is that good? Is that how am I doing okay? How's this working? Right? And their blockages in their chakra are the third eye and the solar plexus. They can't see and they can't do. So let's take a little journey, if you will. Let's take a little meditation. I want to ask you where your magician lives. I want to ask you to find that spot, that place, that warehouse of magic that's already inside of you. So in just a moment, we're going to take some deep breaths. We're going to relax just currently where you are. We don't need to go to your sanctuary. If you want to, you can. But I want you to breathe in this awareness and bring your awareness inside. A lot of times they'll say, breathe through your heart. I want you to breathe in just a little bit now and exhale a little bit more than you're used to. And I want you to become aware. I want you to become aware of your magician. This magical capability you have that resides in your body, in your energy, in your spirit. And I want you to find out where in your body does your magician live? Do you feel it in your mind? Are they in your hands? Maybe your eyes, seeing beyond the surface. Where do you feel your magician lives? Is it in your shoulders, your arms? Where do you feel your magician? I want you to place your hand on this area where you feel the magician. I want you to breathe into that area. I want you to breathe in and activate it. With every breath in, you breathe in light. That brings more energy, more focus, more awareness, more awakening to your magician, giving them light. And with every exhale, you exhale anything that was covering them, shrouding them, exhaling fear and doubt. Any fear you had in accessing this brilliant part of you. I want you to imagine a soft glow of energy activating in this space. Feel the magician waking up in you. Now, you found the place, you feel the magician awakening, and maybe it's a reuniting. You've used your magician. Your magician knows you. And maybe you're now looking at the magician, this energy, this awareness, this accessing this energy, saying, oh, so that's my magician. For some of you, it might be the first connection you've ever had to your magician. If your magician had a movement, could make a move, what would that move look like? Mine is abracadabra. What would be the move your magician would make? What would be the move your magician would make? And the reason that you want to know this is because with this physical, right? Physiology, focus, language, and meaning, you can access your magician simply by the move. Would it be a slow, deliberate gesture like turning the page of an ancient book? A powerful extension of your arm as a channeling energy? Find this move. What would it mean to make this move magically, with confidence? This is your neuroencoding anchor. Remember, brain thought, body movement. Whenever you need to tap into your magical power, whenever you need to step into this creative capability, this simple movement can help you get there. So now we know the place, we know the movement. What would be the sound your magician would make? What would that be? A whispered incantation? I am great. I make reality happen. A deep hum of knowing. What would be the sound of your magician? A steady, resonant I am. Let the sound not rise naturally. You feel it. What was your magician thinking when this question was posed? What's the sound I make? Let the sound rise and feel it in your chest, in your throat, in your mind. This is your sonic anchor. Use it to instantly connect with this magician. So let's review. Where does it reside? Where's the source of this energy? Can you feel it getting bigger now that you've activated it, now that you've brought attention to it? What's the move? Put it together. What's the move and the sound? Put it all together. Hand over the spot. Where's that area? Maybe it's your eyes, could be your throat, could be your arms, your hands. What's the movement? What's the movement you and your magician have agreed upon? And what's the sound? Listen to these brain talks. I am a master of transformation and wisdom. Maybe say that while you're doing your move. It's the move. I am a master of transformation and wisdom. I trust my intuition and inner guidance. I trust my intuition and inner guidance. I use my knowledge with integrity and purpose. Right? In our DMP, it's important we have our purpose. Activating the magician to instantly help you transform the reality, of your joy, of your wisdom, of your vision. Do it with integrity and purpose. I use my knowledge with integrity and purpose. I create reality with clarity and intention. I create my reality with clarity and intention. So understanding the magician and how to access it. In another training, I take you through a tapping sequence of how to access the magician and create your magical statement that helps you access this higher part of you through tapping, right? Through the physiology of awakening in your body, the meridian points. So morning activation, what do you do with this now? Right? We went through a morning activation, make the move and the sound of your magician each morning. Use the move and the sound whenever you need some insight throughout the day. And tonight, I would encourage you to journal how your magician showed up today. Become aware of it. And what you might find, which will be exciting, is that you have actually been accessing your magician. They've been showing up unconsciously. You've not known they were there, yet they were doing some pretty magical things for you. Now you can access it. Now you have control over it. Now you have influence through it. So ask yourself, am I using my wisdom for the best version of me? Or is the wisdom I'm using the shadow magician, the trickster? Become aware of that, because they seem to reside in the same building. And a lot of times if we say, I don't know why, when's it going to be my chance? Why do things keep happening to me? That's your trickster magician. Am I aligning my knowledge with my heart? Am I stepping into my true creative power? This is a path of mastery, of intuition and transformation. Ask yourself, are you ready? Ask your magician, are you ready? And listen to the answer. That's a brief tip of the iceberg conversation about your magician and understanding the power that you have to instantly abracadabra make your future success a today reality. So I love you tons. I'm your brain training, head scrambling, magician finding misfit. I'll see y'all where, YouTube? I'll see you at the next event. So good morning, everybody. Welcome. Hope everybody's doing well. What'd you learn? What'd you like? What did you hear? What did you feel from this conversation?
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Wheezy.
How are you this morning?
Outstanding.
Hooray! Hooray! I was happy to be back with Monty. Reconnected with him in my upper arms.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, that was really interesting. And my movement, the movement was clap.
Oh, good.
That was awesome, and that is the sound. So I thank you for this. Just such a great connection.
Now, again, there's people who this is their first time, and there's somebody like you who's been through it a couple of times. And this is important to see that we have to work on these things because there's deeper connections that we're going to have all the time. All the time.
Yes.
Cool. So what did you learn? What did you like now? Now that you know that you've got this reconnection, that you had been disconnected for a little bit, what's your new awareness?
I became aware of of what I learned. I became aware of me using the once and done. Oh, I met you, great, here you are, but not connecting. That it's a practice. I have to practice this. I have to connect, just like in everything else. I need to be aware of it all the time. And um the fact that mm, finding, first of all, finding where he is, that was huge. I just went, well, he's just here in me somewhere, blah, blah. But actually putting a place, and coming, I realize I'm going to learn why it's my upper arm, but in order to move forward, I don't have to know the why. I just have found him. And I love the fact that I have a movement and a sound, because now I don't have to think about, I just, when there, oftentimes I clap my hands and I'll just, in having an idea and going, there's the answer. And I clap my hands. Well, it's Monty, but I didn't put it together till now.
Now, when you say your upper arm, this part or
Yes.
lower?
Yes, my upper arm.
Okay, so do you see
In the
what you're doing?
muscle area.
What are you doing to yourself right now when you do that?
I'm hugging myself.
That's the movement. That's the love you have for everybody around you.
Oh, that's cool.
Right? So you magically want to give them a hug. So think about how your words flow into people, and the magic you have is that you literally make them feel like they're being given a beautiful hug, an embrace of energy. So now I dare you to have anything negative to say about anything if you're going to magically embrace them.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's actually yesterday when I was volunteering, one of the staff came up to me saying, "You are always so bright and happy. You walk in and you just make me feel so good." And I for a moment I wanted to say, just, but you were in my head. And I went, thank you. You make me feel that way.
And I bet her smile got bigger.
It was a him, and yes, he did.
I bet his smile got bigger.
It did. It interesting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you.
Love you too. Yay, yay, yay.
Yay.
Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways? What'd you learn? What'd you like?
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
I'm glad that you're outstanding.
Thank you.
So, one thing of many that hit me this morning, but I think the big one, when you talked about clarity and intention. And so I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole myself with that, and realizing that um, focus and clarity are two things that I have definitely been lacking in. There are so many things that I want to do, that I can't focus on anything.
Okay.
And the
So
saying,
how big of a lie is that?
how big of a lie is that?
What?
Which, okay,
Focus and clarity. How big of a lie is that?
I'm not sure that I understand the question.
I love it. So let me ask this question. Somebody comes in and they have from you doing a verbal diagnostic with them, their lymph system is just totally wrecked. Do you go work on their toes?
No,
Well, so how do you know? Why do you get focused and work on their lymph system?
I have evidence that that's what's required.
And so now to work on their lymph system, you have to have a skill set
Yes.
and know that you don't want to overtax the system because you could do that through a detox. So you have some clarity and some focus when you have a problem in front of you.
Okay.
True or not true?
Yes. Yes, that's true.
So total focus, total clarity, adjusting along the way based upon what else pops up, because sometimes people lie about their problems. So is it possible that you haven't picked the problem you want to fix yet? Because when you pick the problem, you go fix it.
Well, yeah. That's
So it's a lie that you have no clarity and you have no focus. You have tremendous clarity and tremendous focus when you have the problem. You have some inconveniences. You keep calling them inconveniences, whatever these things are. When you decide that's the problem, you'll go fix it. It's called your DMP. So I think it's a heresy that you now listen for me. When I went up there and you had a conversation with me and you worked with me most of the day, all of the day, gave me food, gave me lunch, you had focus and clarity. Okay, now we're doing this and now we're doing that. Do you want to do this? You can do that, and you have this. We'd never done that before. There was tremendous focus and clarity when it was for me. How about for you?
well, okay. So there lies the question. Why is it so easy for me to do it for other people, but
Because
doing it for myself?
it's okay for me to love you, but not for you to love you.
Uh,
Because if you love you and you let you down, kind of hard to argue with you. It's just another disappointment. But if you take care of me, and it's real easy to take care of me because it's like falling off a log. You've done it 1,000 times. Well, you've taken care of you 1,000 times too. It's just we've never taken the self-recognition for it. You can be the magician of empowerment, the empowered magician for me, and then the trickster magician for you. This is why I ask who's on stage right now. When you ask those questions, this question this morning, I feel like I'm lacking focus and clarity. Who said that? It wasn't eternity. Ask eternity. Do I have focus and clarity?
yeah.
Hello, Dr. Freud of the lobby, Dr. Freud of the lobby, right? And it takes these dialogues, and this is why we have to have dialogues and not monologues. You're an idiot. I can't believe I do that. That's a monologue. Nobody's listening to a monologue. It's just you off in like a cuckoo person and down at the street talking to yourself in the corner. Nobody wants to talk to you because you're just rambling along. The only difference between us and the guy downtown is he's speaking out loud. We're doing it silently. Right?
Yeah, I feel like that.
So when we start to have the dialogue, it's important that you talk to yourself out loud because we will manipulate a silent conversation like nobody's business. All right. So what's going on now? All right, so right now I'm doing this. Is that who's running this show right now? You have to ask who took over the reins to this stagecoach. And just like I said, what did eternity say? And you giggled. Ugh. And the is clearing the vagus nerve, releasing the stress. If you're not having these conversations, don't think they're not happening. Well, what do I say? Ask the question. Hey, who do I need to talk? Who's running this show right now? Who's in charge? Right? Imagine walking into a stadium going, who's in charge? And everybody's looking at each other going, who's this person? Who's this loony bin running around with a microphone? A lot of times it's the first time they've ever met you. And the more, listen, ladies and gentlemen, and kits and cats and girls and boys, the more you start to focus in on what you want, the chaos happens. The chaos comes. It literally does its best to sideline you. Oh my gosh, everything was going so good, and then this happened. Yeah, shocker, not a surprise. That's how big, the bigger the thing, the bigger your transition.
Yeah, that's a mountain that I'm ready to stop walking around.
And you start climbing it. And here's the thing. When we climb a mountain, it's a little challenging, but every now and then you stop and take a look at the what? The view.
The view.
We don't ever enjoy our own view as we make this journey. We're like, I can't look at anything till I get to the top. Well, that's stupid. First of all, you got to know you're going towards the top. Just climbing. You could just be going around the mountain.
Bonus.
She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. So we have to stop and take a look at the view. Am I on the right mountain? Right? Stephen Covey said we're climbing the ladder like crazy, but we got the ladder up against the wrong wall. Are we even climbing the right mountain? This is how we play out our 7 levels deep. We find out if we're at the right mountain. Some of us are so near the top of a mountain, that's the wrong mountain. And then ego steps in and going, well, I'm not going down. You mean I got to go down to the bottom and I got to be with all of the schleps and schloppies and vagrants and all my old stories and everything else. And I got to repeat this again. I got to do this all again. No, you're not doing it all again. You've never done it. That's the problem. You think climbing the right mountain is doing it all over again. You've never done the right mountain. Ooh, that hurt somebody. Sorry.
I think I'm there.
Okay. Didn't mean to cut your carotid artery.
Oh, yes, you did.
Now, you can parachute off this mountain and get on with the show, or you can go, oh, see, that was wrong, and that was wrong, and that was wrong, and that was wrong, and I did that wrong, and that was a mistake. Screw it. It's all got you to where you are. What did Waddle say? Don't badmouth the plutocrats and the trust magnets, as the thinking substance will do away with them when it's necessary. But until then, they got you to where you are. They got you to this awareness of you letting you say, okay, I'm ready to fight. And the reason that you've lost every battle is because it was never your fight. You were fighting the wrong fight. You fight the good fight, you win. You fight the good fight in healing people, evidence, you win. This fight you're having with yourself isn't a winning battle. You've got to go fight the winning battle. And the winning battle is faith and courage. And you don't need to fight anymore. When you realize you no longer need to fight for your own joy, for your own happiness, it is a decision that simply happens that fast. There's never a fight again in your life. When you like that. Never again a fight. Never again. Because nothing is fight worthy of a negative energy. It doesn't even suck up your time. Isn't that fascinating? I love it. Next. Wait, I just said you're an idiot. I know. And I love that. I love that you can see me, all of my bumps and bruises, and you're still sitting with me. Well, I don't like you. Then one of us should leave. You guys heard me tell the story. I'm kind of a, remember, I could be a jerk rabbit as with the best of them. And this guy from Australia, living in England, was at this API, American Petroleum Institute training when I was learning about seals and mechanical seals and stuff for oil refineries. We were in Boston at the corporate manufacturer. And we're having quips. And I know a lot of the people who were there, and we're cutting each other back and forth. And he just lets out this zinger. And I forget what it was. He goes, "You're just the biggest something." And this is at breakfast, first time we're meeting. And I said, was sitting across the table from him, and I looked at him and I said, "Oh, I'm going to like you. Oh my gosh. You and I think are going to be fast friends." He goes, "I just threw the biggest dagger at you, and you caught it, and you're now picking your teeth with it, having fun with it." He goes, "There's something wrong with you." I go, "Yeah, but you love it." He goes, "I do. I've never met anybody like you. You can't tick me off without my permission. Why would I ever have a fight without my permission? The things I fight for, when you hear the story of me wanting to grow grass here on the ranch, oh my gosh, you talk about a fight. 3 years wanting to get a particular area covered in grass, and it has battled, and we have laughed, and we have loved, and we have taught, and this is me in the ground. And now I think I found a way to just absolutely nuke it with love. And it's crimson clover. That stuff grows anywhere, and it puts nitrogen back in the ground. And I don't know if it's been waiting for me to figure that out, but that seems like it's going to be, and more people are using clover as grass. So yeah, it's kind of fun. And now I got a pump and I can water and irrigate, and everybody's like, "What? You're irrigating your lawn? You got 20 acres?" Like, "Yeah, but I'm not irrigating all of it." "But why would you want to water your lawn? That means you got to do what?" I said, "Mow more grass. I love the smell of cut grass." And now if I let it grow tall enough, I can pick up the clippings, or I can let them maybe every other time pick up the clippings and then use that in my compost pile. Have the green with the carbon. Yeah, I'm Abby Normal. But these are the fight I pick is the one that's the legacy for you all to be able to walk around here barefoot anywhere on the property and not step on a stone. That to me is a worthy fight. Michelle's like, "What?" I said, "You know how you like the kitchen clean?" I said, "I like the yard to look that way." I said, "So the yard's a little bit bigger. It takes a little bit more time for me to work on that than to clean the sink." What'd you learn? What'd you like, Heather? What are you hearing?
Oh, I'm hearing that once
There was a
again.
vagus nerve.
Yeah.
No, not start again. You can't ever start again.
I'm hearing that once again.
No.
No,
No, go ahead.
no,
Once again, yeah.
I am not giving myself enough credit for evidence that already exists.
So who's guiding that? So ask who's hiding that? Who's got the behind door number 2 is all of the evidence. Who's keeping door number 2 closed? Ask.
Oh, it's a jester figure. it's definitely a court jester figure.
So who's the court jester's boss?
Oh, a sovereign.
Okay, so you don't have to make the rules, but have the sovereign say, hey, listen, I need those doors opened. And I need them to remain open. I need them to be in my consciousness. Could you please make this so? I don't need the court jester to be banished or anything else. I just need them to know that the rules have now changed to no longer close the door every time I turn my back.
It is done.
Do you feel that shift?
Yeah,
Now look at the doors. Are they open or
Yeah.
closed?
they're open.
Yeah. And what I'm seeing in Harry Potter is the chalk is magically writing more evidence on the board all the time.
Yeah, I'm seeing stuff just kind of fall out of the door. It's
Mhm.
like it was just piled up and now
An abundance of evidence.
it's flowing out.
So now that you see that, hear that, what's the sound it's making as it's flowing out?
It's like boxes crashing down.
Okay. Of powerful, positive evidence of all of the things you've done well.
Yeah.
Make sure you clarify that, because we could just instantly turn it into all the things we've not done so well.
No,
So
it's all positive.
so now what's the shift you feel in your body?
Quite honestly, I'm sick to my stomach.
So who made you sick to your stomach?
I'm not sure.
Okay, ask. You have the right to ask. Somebody that needs the love. Somebody that only gets love from you when your stomach's upset. Who's that?
Yeah, it's
Have they identified themselves?
no, it's a little girl, but it's not my princess.
Okay. So ask, does she even need to be part of the does she need to be part of the active community? Does she serve a powerful, positive purpose other than we don't need any more distractions. So is it okay if we remove the distractions from the courtroom, from the great room?
She feels like she's keeping me safe.
Okay. And can you let her know, as we try to inform all of our children, the things they think are true aren't. The reality they think they see in life needs to have an adjustment. Can you say that's no longer true? I appreciate
Yes.
you wanting to keep me safe, but that doesn't keep me safe. If you can let her know that nothing wrong with that. You tried to do your best. Ask her what's the new way she can keep you safe. If she wants to participate, and if she doesn't know any other way, say, okay, so
No, she doesn't. There's nothing else for her to do.
okay. So is it okay if she goes and plays with the prince and princess? Hey, Seamus.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
can the prince and princess come get her?
Yes.
Do they know her?
Kind of. They don't like her. They don't
Okay.
like her.
So tell them that you and her have a new arrangement, right? So she's this little outcast. So tell her that you've made a new arrangement and that she's so I'm being told that she is not acceptable. She's a valuable part of the community. Because there may be times I want to get sick, but right now, for the foreseeable future, I don't really need her, but she has a value. She's played a value in the past. And right now she just gets to take a break. She doesn't have to do her work anymore. She can go play. She can go be the child, the little girl. And ask your prince and princess to not push her off the swing.
Yeah,
So now how's your
that's
stomach?
all good. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, welcome, welcome. Isn't it funny how just having a dialogue of energy, because all of this is energy. And the reason we turn it into these little girls or prince and princess or warrior or magician is so that we can have a mental image of the energy. We can bring this unbelievable source of God's gift of the thinking substance into a subject matter that we as magnificent, miraculous human beings can begin to manifest an understanding and a correlation and a relationship to this stuff. As we begin to progress and as you begin to climb the mountain of your choosing, as opposed to the mountain somebody else put you on, all of these little stories become fodder, become comic relief for the main vision when you have the main vision. And the power becomes so strong and the energy becomes so strong and the connection becomes so strong and the focus becomes so strong that it's the domino that knocks over all the other dominoes. It's literally going to war. A war of, I'm going to be in a war against fear and doubt and poverty. So rather than speak of I'm in a war against, what am I in a war for? I'm in a war, I'm in a battle, I am in a constant pull towards peace and love and outstanding and joy. And that's where I choose to place my energy, on the battlefield of love, of joy, of listening. You know how hard it is to hear for other people? You know this. You do it effortlessly. I'm getting this sense. I'm feeling this. What's going on with your shoulder? Oh, well, now that you mention it, yeah, I was feeling something, right? You do this all the time. We all do this all the time for those we love and care for. Man, I was just thinking about you today. Do you realize what it takes to show up in your thoughts with all of the chaos and confusion? For somebody to show up in your thoughts, to somebody show up in your world, for you to listen, to be of service to them. It's one of the greatest gifts we can have, to be in service of other humanity. It's even better when we look in the mirror. Does that make sense? And we start to take care of us. And when we take care of us, boy, there's a lot more we can do. It's amazing how much more we can take care of when we're good. It's how much more weight we can lift if we're physically capable, how much more stress we can deal with if our body is not stressed. Bring me your poor, bring me your challenged, bring me your tired, bring me your weak. If you're not tired, you're not weak, you can give them all you got. You got to take care of you. It's a JM3 in yourself. Because ain't nobody going to love you as much as you love you. Not a chance. Not a snowball's chance in Hades. You start loving you, people are like, oh my God, everybody thinks I'm awesome. Because people want to be around awesome. There's not a lot of awesome out there today. There's a lot of want to be awesome. There's a lot of want to be cool. There's a lot of want to be love and joy and happiness. There's a lot of fake out there. And it gets masked because they got 1 million followers. Ain't nobody got followers. They got 30,000 people following them. 6 people like their post. They got 6 followers. I have 8,000 people on Instagram or something like that. And 4 people like my post. I have 4 followers and probably 10 haters, but they ain't doing nothing because they know it don't work for me. But that's okay. I got 14 people that are engaged in my world. Like, no magic, 7,000. I have 30,000 followers on Instagram, on social media. No, I got 6 people who like me. I'm literally that meme. Hey, listen, I'm going to the gas station. Anybody want anything? I call my friends, all of them, like 4 of them, and say, I'm going to town. Y'all need anything? They're like, why do you call every time you go to town? I said, because one time you're going to need something. You're right. So there you go. Questions, comments, thoughts as we wrap up.
Morning, Sean.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you, Heather, for the masterclass this morning. I've been living in this chaos for the last week. And yeah, my awakening, I think, started in the fall, and it came to a head after I got back from Dallas.
Right.
Yeah, took the wind out of my sail.
And so now the question is can you love this moment?
Oh, I've been sitting in love all week.
Yes. And the reason is that most people would think, well, how could you love what's going on with you right now? You could either love it or not. And if you're not, then you're bringing that energy to you. So if you love it, it's everything. It says in the Bible, everything happens for your good. Everything happens for your good.
Yeah. And it's funny because when I go into it, there's always this little girl in a pale pink dress, and it goes way back, like, I don't know, centuries, generations upon generations upon generations. So it's interesting. That's the vision I keep getting this week.
So ask her, because this could be an accumulation of the avatar. Ask her if she has access to the healing.
Well, it's funny. The vision is, and it's funny because when I was in church, I spoke to the priest and he said prayers over me a couple of times. And it was right after that I started getting this vision, and it's like this little girl, and it's like desert, like very dry and dusty and rocks. And it's like Jesus up on the top of the hill, and she's sitting at the bottom, just willing for him to see her and to get healed. And it's just like a reoccurring thought I see now, or a vision.
So what did Jesus say? We should all have what kind of faith? Childlike.
Yeah.
And he always loved the children, right?
Yes.
So is it okay? She's begging for him to see her.
Mm-hmm.
Next time you have the conversation with her, say, is it okay if he sees you?
Okay. Because there's just so many adults around that it's very difficult. Yeah.
Well, one of the things that, and again, you know me, I'm not the theologian. When Jesus was walking through a town and the woman touched his robe.
Yes.
And he said, wait a minute, somebody of you has faith bigger than all. So these are the imagery that's running through my head. Ask her, is it okay for her to be seen? Is it okay if she just touches his robe? Is her faith strong enough that when she does touch his robe, that he knows that she's there? And then ask her if she wants another color dress. Why did you giggle?
Because it's not my favorite color.
Right. So see how we're connected. All of us were connected like this. So put her in the color of the dress that you would like her to have.
Okay.
And the pale pink, is it a pale pink, or was it a brilliant color that's now faded?
No, it's like a melony pink, like it's a
Okay.
faded color. Yeah.
Okay. So the two of you have a conversation. What would be the, hold on. What would be the color you want? Picture what the most healing color is.
Like a purple
Okay.
or like a blue, an aqua
Okay.
kind
And Easter's coming up. Everything's going to be draped in purple,
of.
right? So I felt a shift in you. What's the shift that happened?
I'm ready for it.
Okay. Cool. Love it, love it, love it.
Thank you, thank you, thank
So
you.
yeah, as you sit there, so a lot there's I heard something about in this desert, allow a flowing river to show up, and then allow this desert to become an oasis. That's that when you mentioned that, I saw the desert and I saw it this, and then I saw it turn into this lush green oasis of life and joy and happiness. And then that's when I saw her dress change color. And you get to ask her, hey, listen, I know you're an avatar from 1,000 years ago. How do I make sure I hear your message? What's the thing you need to teach me? What's the thing I need to learn? And can I offer you some suggestions that the Diane of now, is prepared, is practiced, and is ready to have this generational shift, to be the one who transforms in this time and place, to break this cycle. See where that goes.
Okay. Yeah, I've broken a lot of those generational,
Yes, you have.
traditional things. Yes.
Yes, you have. And
This could be like the root of it, I guess, right?
could be. And they keep getting bigger. And here's the thing, the bigger they are, sometimes the easier it is to make the slightest adjustment. Sometimes if it's a very narrow window you get to operate in, you've got to be surgically precise. With this, simply pick her up and hug her. Carry her up the hill to Jesus. Say, we're going to go see him. Listen, him and I were like this. Right?
Yeah.
So take control in the dream.
Okay.
Say, hey, listen, this is my dream going on in my world. I'm going to participate. And watch what happens, and put her in her purple dress. I'm excited to hear what happens.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, welcome, welcome. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, take with you, take away. Okay. Well, there you go. There's your magical archetype. I love you tons. I appreciate you also very, 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 very much. I'm your head brain training. Let's make some magic, misfit. I'll see y'all where?
At the next event.
At the next magical event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias, magically.
Peace
Peace
be
be
with
with
you.
Peace be with us all. And the queen of magical success, Jessie Lee Ward.
Bossy.
Boss Lee, we love you, girl. And a little bit white of fluffy, magical, poofy, poof.
Gurgly,
Gurgly, gurgly. All right, everybody. No call tonight. You got Tuesday night off. No call tonight. Go have some fun. Work on your DMP. Work on your archetype, your sovereign, and your magician. Have some conversations. Spend some time sharpening your saw, and we'll see you all tomorrow morning. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.
You have a great day.